Hi. This 10 Minutes on a Sonnet is focused on John Keats's sonnet on first looking into Chapman's Homer. And I believe I have this one memorized. A couple of the words might be off. We'll see. Much have I traveled in the realms of gold, round many goodly states and kingdoms seen. Round many western islands have I been, which bards in fealty to Apollo hold. Oft of one wide expanse have I been told, that deep-browed Homer ruled as his domain. Yet never did I breathe its pure serene, till I heard Chapman speak out, loud and bold. Then felt I like some watcher of the skies, when a new planet swims into his ken, or like stout Cortez when with eagle eyes he stared at the Pacific, and all his men looked round about them with a wild surmise, silent upon a peak in Darien. And the story I remember about this sonnet is that Keats dashed it off really fast after he and a friend had been reading Chapman's, maybe Iliad. George Chapman translated both the Iliad and the Odyssey, and they were reading one of those. And so Keats wrote this sonnet. It all came out in a rush, and then he ran back to his friend who he'd been reading Chapman's Homer with and showed it to him. And his friend is probably blown away, like many, many, many people have been since then, including me. And I love how much this sonnet does in 14 lines in a pretty short span. Um, this first, the title gives us that he's reading a book, and then suddenly, in the first line, he's not reading anymore. He's traveling, and the traveling, I'm guessing, is a metaphor for the reading, but he doesn't say that in the poem. He puts us in this place with him of traveling around the Western Islands, fields of gold, and and there's nothing modern, 19th century modern, Keats modern, in these travels that he gives us in the first four lines. Um, Round many western islands have I been, which bards in fealty to Apollo hold, present tense hold. So, in just a few lines, we're back in this place that's like bard dominated, as opposed to, I don't know, muskets or cannons or any of the many other things he could have put there. We're back in this enchanted place where, Homer himself might have been writing or reciting, because the bards would recite. And Homer, he puts in the place of king as the ruler of this domain. Um, but he says that Chapman is the one who really introduced him to Homer, which I'm realizing right now is maybe the highest praise of a translator that I've come across. Um, and in translation, in Keats's time, I don't know if it was seen so much as an art form or, a form of composition or creation of its own, the way it's come to be seen more recently. Um, But he's saying that what Chapman did in his translation is so powerful that for Keats, that's when Homer really became king for him, ruler. And and then he leaps thousands of miles, maybe, from Homer's territory, which would be maybe Mediterranean, into the New World. What he and others would have seen at the New World at the time. Of course, not at all new to native people, but he's he's showing us this view of the Americas with Cortez in it, and what that does, I mean, to me, that's really pretty amazing. Is it lets my imagination travel halfway around the world in the space of a couple of lines, with Keats's very inviting music guiding the way. And Keats brings us from this place of kind of an awesome golden time um, of Homer and other bards into just a few centuries before Keats's time and before my time, I guess, where Cortez and his men were in the Americas. And he doesn't have them conquering, he doesn't have them claiming anything. He has them looking around with a wild surmise, which to me says a wild wondering, thinking, reflecting, but it's wild. I mean, I get a sense of kind of awe at the landscape around them. What is this new place? And awe and silence, because the poem ends with silent upon a peak in Darien. And I don't know if this is something that Keats intended, but to me, there's a powerful kind of connection that he made in this sonnet, between the art of translation that brought him into um, the world of Homer, and the act of looking uh, that Cortez is doing, um, and being awed to silence through that, where the translation makes makes a piece of writing so new that it can it can bring somebody into a different place, and simply looking around can do that for someone too. Um, Whereas Cortez and his men went over there with uh, conquest on their mind. They didn't go there for wild surmise, but that's what they got. And I believe that's what Keats or his speaker is saying, that can be gotten out of any moment. Um, any moment can be translated into a source of wonder rather than something to be mastered, which is a very helpful thing for me personally to remember. So I'm very grateful to have gotten to share it with you today. And yeah, I don't know why Homer's brow is called deep. Like, to me, that means like really protruding brow, but maybe it was a compliment. Might have meant wisdom. Who knows? Thanks.